From NBC News, this is a special edition of Today, Hurricane Florence, with Savannah Guthrie and Hoda Kotb, live from Studio 1A in Rockefeller Plaza.
Good morning, everybody. It's Friday morning, and we're coming on early this morning, a special edition, 6 a.m. in the east, 3 a.m. in the west, and we want to bring you the very latest on Hurricane Florence because it's here. That powerful storm is battering the Carolinas. Good morning. Breaking news, Florence's fury. The dangerous hurricane pounding the East Coast right now with torrential rain, a life-threatening storm surge, and high winds. This morning, hundreds of people in North Carolina already trapped. Emergency rescues underway. Flooding, damage, and power outages quickly piling up.
Oh my gosh.
As the storm slowly makes landfall, the worst still to come this morning, and we have complete coverage live today, Friday, September 14th, 2018.
From NBC News, this is a special edition of Today, Hurricane Florence, with Savannah Guthrie and Hoda Kotb, live from Studio 1A in Rockefeller Plaza.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to this special edition of Today. Millions waking up this Friday morning to the power, the force, the fury of Hurricane Florence.
I think some people woke up and said, wait, this was a Category 3, it's a 2, it's now a 1. Well, this thing is a rainmaker. It is on the coast. Flooding is a major concern. We've been talking already about people being plucked from their rooftops. This is happening in North Carolina. We've got it all covered.
Yeah, those are the lucky ones,
Yeah.
because for some, they're stranded and it is just not safe for first responders right now. And the sheer size of this storm, as we said before, effects being felt from Florida all the way up to New Jersey. Let's get right to the latest. Al talked about power outages. That's exactly what's happening. Nearly 400,000 homes and businesses in the dark this morning in the Carolinas. Officials are already warning it could take weeks before power is fully restored.
The rain totals are climbing as well. High tide, by the way, expected somewhere around 11 o'clock. Atlantic Beach, North Carolina, already received more than 20 inches. Some cities could see 8 months worth over the next 2 days.
Let's just imagine that. And around 12,000 people in North Carolina are riding out this storm. They're in shelters this morning, and they're the lucky ones. Our team is fanned out across the region. We're going to get to them in a moment, but let's go to Al. He's on the path of Florence, and we expect landfall, official landfall any moment.
That's right. I believe that it probably has made landfall at this point. However, we have to wait for the National Hurricane Center to verify that.
It's 8 o'clock on Today. Coming up, breaking news, roaring ashore. Hurricane Florence slamming into the East Coast right now, bringing fierce winds, torrential rain, and a dangerous storm surge. This morning, rescue operations underway for hundreds trapped in their homes.
This is like
Hundreds of thousands without power. Officials warning that number could reach the millions. We've got complete live coverage today, Friday, September 14th, 2018.
From NBC News, this is a special edition of Today, Hurricane Florence, with Savannah Guthrie and Hoda Kotb, live from Studio 1A in Rockefeller Plaza.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome back. It's a special edition of Today, 8 o'clock in the east, 5 a.m. out west. And what a night for our friends in North and South Carolina, all up and down the East Coast, getting battered as we speak.
I think a lot of people went to bed last night and thought, well, this is a Category 3. They woke up, it's a Category 1, and they thought, phew, you know, we dodged a bullet. But what the folks down there know all too well is this is actually a rain, a water, a flooding event, and those kind of results can be horrific.
And this could last for days. It's a very slow-moving storm. Let's get the latest for you. The eye of the hurricane made landfall officially. Happened at 7:15 Eastern near Wrightsville Beach, North Carolina, a little bit northeast of Wilmington.
We are already seeing this morning rescues across the region. They say about 150 people were trapped in homes, some in cars, some in attics, elderly, children. There have been rescue crews trying to do their best to navigate those waters and get those people to safety. Again, they're playing a game of beat the clock. High tides coming coming at 11:30, and so they want to try to get as many people out as possible. A motel partially collapsed in Jacksonville, North Carolina, where the mayor there told us an infant was there. All people there rescued and are safe.
Can you imagine? And that's inland, and they're still getting. The rainfall totals will make your jaw drop. They're reaching 20 to 25 inches along coastal Carolina down to northeastern South Carolina. They say some areas are going to get up to 40 inches of rain, more than 3 feet of rain. Our team is there. They're fanned out across the storm zone. Al's tracking the path, and I know we get an update around this time every morning. Al, what do you got?
Well, let's check it out. You can see again the wide swath from Salisbury, Maryland, all the way down to Daytona Beach, seeing the clouds. This for the
9 o'clock Eastern now, 6 a.m. Pacific. If you're just waking up, we are covering Hurricane Florence. It's here, and it is already having widespread devastation on the East Coast.
Came on shore a little after 7 o'clock, but the worst may still be on the way. We want to get you caught up on the very latest. The eye of the hurricane did make landfall near Wrightsville Beach, North Carolina this morning. It brought with it some torrential rains and a life-threatening storm surge.
The rainfall totals are stunning. 20 to 25 inches already reported, so really we should be talking in feet. This is along the coast of North and South Carolina, but get this, some areas might see up to 40 inches. More than 3 feet by the time it's done.
Yeah, the winds are also fierce. 100-mile-an-hour gusts were reported in Cape Fear overnight.
And the wind and the rain are a knockout punch. They are taking the power out across the Carolinas. In all, more than 450,000 homes and businesses are in the dark right now. The whole town of Wilmington in the dark right now.
And all this as we wait for high tide, which is expected to arrive between 11 a.m. and noon, which will just add to this big mess. We have complete coverage for you this morning, starting with Craig Melvin. He's standing by with the mayor of Wilmington, North Carolina. Hey, Craig.
Good morning. Breaking news, Florence's fury. Hurricane Florence roars ashore in North Carolina this morning, slamming the region with torrential rain, a life-threatening storm surge, and high winds. Hundreds of people trapped and in need of rescue overnight. Damage and power outages quickly piling up.
Oh my gosh.
We have complete coverage live today, Friday, September 14th, 2018.
From NBC News, this is a special edition of Today, Hurricane Florence, with Savannah Guthrie and Hoda Kotb, live from Studio 1A in Rockefeller Plaza.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Today. It is 10 a.m. on the East Coast, 7 a.m. out west. And if you're just waking up this morning, we've been on the air for several hours now watching Florence, the power, the force, the fury, as it is battering a huge swath of the East Coast.
She is a deceptive storm. She came on as a Category 1. She's already causing some issues with water, lots of flooding. We're talking water rescues. The Cajun Navy is helping, going door to door, trying to rescue people who are trapped in their homes. All this is high tide is about an hour and a half away, and that's really a critical time. We're seeing wind gusts. Al, you were talking about
a wind gust of 105 miles per hour at Wilmington Airport, which is the highest recorded wind gust in a hurricane since Hurricane Helene in 1958. And while there's no change in much in the way of location, we have seen a change in the direction. Last hour we told you it was moving west-southwest at 6. Well, now it's moving southwest. And that, if it continues on that path, it's back out over the water.
Oh, gosh.
So we'll get a complete update from the National Hurricane Center coming up at 11, which will include a new projected path.
And the issue with it going over the water is it gets that warm water, it fuels it up, and it makes landfall again, maybe.
And what's interesting is that was the path of the European model, and the National Hurricane Center path obviously did not take that, although it has come further south over the last day or two. So it's kind of interesting.
We're going to watch what happens. The story of the storm, power outages certainly high up there. They're climbing as we speak. More than 500,000 homes and businesses in the dark across the Carolinas, whole towns without power. And get this, it could take weeks to fully restore.
The rain totals are climbing as well. Atlantic Beach, North Carolina, already 20 inches of rain. Some cities could see 8 months over the next couple of days. that's happening.
Yeah, 8 months worth of rain. Can you imagine in just a couple of days? Around 12,000 people in North Carolina riding out the storm. They're in shelters this morning, and our team is there. We are fanned out across this region. Al's going to get back with the forecast in just a minute. Craig Melvin in Wilmington, North Carolina, which is getting it very bad this morning, is having a little moment of calm. Craig, bring us up to date. It's 8 o'clock on Today. Coming up, breaking news, roaring ashore. Hurricane Florence slamming into the East Coast right now, bringing fierce winds, torrential rain, and a dangerous storm surge. This morning, rescue operations underway for hundreds trapped in their homes.
This is like way
Hundreds of thousands without power. Officials warning that number could reach the millions. We've got complete live coverage today, Friday, September 14th, 2018.
From NBC News, this is a special edition of Today, Hurricane Florence, with Savannah Guthrie and Hoda Kotb, live from Studio 1A in Rockefeller Plaza.
Good morning, everybody. We're back. It's a special edition of Today, and you are watching humanity in the storm. Rescuers, heroes. At this hour, it's already been a long, long morning for those out east, even though it's just 8 o'clock on the West Coast. And we're glad you're with us. We're glad we're able to share some images of rescue as this storm, Hurricane Florence, continues its beat down on the East Coast.
I have to say, you point out something that's so important. I think in these storms, you look at the destruction and the pain, and then you're right. In all those moments, there's that. There's someone helping someone down the stairs. But this is it's a brutal storm. It came on as just a Category 1, but it's packing a lot of punch. It's full of water. It's sitting right there, moving very slowly.
Showing a lot of heart.
They are, but this thing's moving very, very slowly, Al, and that's something that has you concerned.
Yeah, it's only moving moving west-southwest at about 3 miles per hour. As we've said, you can walk faster than this storm, so it's for all intents and purposes stationary.
We do want to get you caught up on the very latest. Power is out to more than 500,000 homes and businesses across the region, most of them in the southeast corner of North Carolina.
The Category 1 hurricane is dumping 3 inches of rain an hour in some areas. Overall totals now reaches 30 inches. That's in Atlantic Beach. Some places may see up to 40 inches of rain.
Fast approaching as high tide could come within the next half hour, 45 minutes, and around 12,000 people are riding out the storm in shelters in North Carolina. Of course, more than 1 million people were forced to evacuate their homes over the past couple of days.
Let's go to Garrett Haig. He's been keeping an eye on some of these rescues we've been seeing. He's in New Bern, North Carolina. That town got a lot of flooding. The storm surge hit it hard. It's not over yet, and it's a race against time. High tide upon us, and we see those National Guards people out there really trying to make a difference this morning, Garrett.